Hello, and welcome to Sarah English, where you can improve your English naturally by listening to simple, interesting stories. Today, I have a story for you about a man who had almost nothing. No money, no powerful family, no special connections. But he had one thing that changed his life: the decision to keep going. So, listen carefully, enjoy the story, and let the English come naturally. Let's begin. There was once a young man named Daniel. Daniel lived in a small town with his mother. His family was poor, and life was not easy. They lived in a very small house. The roof leaked when it rained, and sometimes there was not enough food for dinner. Daniel wanted a better life, but he often asked himself, "How can I change my life when I have nothing?" One morning, Daniel woke up early and looked at his old shoes. The shoes were broken. He looked at his empty wallet. He had almost no money. For a moment, he felt hopeless. Then he remembered something his mother had told him many times. She said, "You may not have money today, Daniel, but you still have your time, your hands, and your mind. Use what you have." Daniel thought about those words. That day, he decided to find work. He walked from one shop to another. At the first shop, the owner said, "Sorry, we don't need anyone." At the second shop, the answer was the same. At the third shop, the owner looked at Daniel and said, "You have no experience." Daniel thanked him and walked away. He was tired, but he did not stop. Finally, he found a small restaurant that needed someone to clean tables. The work was difficult. Daniel worked long hours. He carried heavy boxes, cleaned tables, washed dishes, and sometimes worked late at night. The money was small, but Daniel was grateful. Every evening after work, he spent 1 hour learning. He did not have expensive books. He did not have a private teacher. He used an old library near his house. He read simple English books. He learned new words. He practiced writing. And most importantly, he kept listening and speaking. Some people laughed at him. One of his friends said, "Daniel, why are you studying so much? You are only a restaurant worker." Daniel smiled. He said, "Maybe today I am a restaurant worker, but I don't know what I can become tomorrow." Months passed. Daniel became better at English. One day, a customer came to the restaurant. The customer was a businessman from another country. He needed someone who could speak English and help him communicate with local people. Daniel spoke to him confidently. The businessman was impressed. He asked, "Where did you learn English?" Daniel answered, "I learned by myself." The businessman smiled and said, "I need someone like you." He offered Daniel a small job in his company. Daniel accepted. It was the beginning of a completely different life. But Daniel did not suddenly become rich. He still had problems. He made mistakes. He sometimes failed. But now he had a new skill, new confidence, and new opportunities. He continued learning. He learned about business. He learned how to communicate. He learned how to manage money. And he never forgot where he came from. Years later, Daniel started his own small company. It began with one old computer and a tiny office. At first, he had only one customer. Then he had 3. Then 10. Slowly, his company grew. One day, Daniel returned to the small house where he had grown up. He looked at the old roof. He remembered the days when his family had struggled to buy food. He smiled, not because those days were easy, but because they taught him something important. He understood that success does not always begin with money. Sometimes, success begins with a decision to learn, a decision to work, a decision to try again after failure, and a decision not to give up. Daniel started with almost nothing, but he used the little he had. He used his time. He used his hands. He used his mind. And he used every opportunity he found. Now think about this sentence. You do not need everything to start. You need to start with what you have. This is the lesson of Daniel's story. Maybe your English is not perfect today. That's okay. You don't need perfect English to start speaking. You don't need to know thousands of words. Start with the words you know. Listen every day. Repeat simple sentences. Make mistakes. Learn from them. And keep going, because progress is often very slow in the beginning. But if you continue, one day you will look back and realize how far you have come. If this story helped you practice English, don't leave it here. Listen to it again. Try to repeat some of the sentences aloud. And if you enjoyed learning English with Sarah English, subscribe to the channel and like this video. Also, leave a comment and tell us, what is one thing you want to achieve, even if you're starting with nothing? Your answer might inspire someone else who is learning English and working toward a better future. Keep listening. Keep learning. Keep believing in yourself. And whenever you come back to Sarah English, there will be another story waiting to help you improve your English, one simple sentence at a time. See you in the next story.